He was a basketball and football coach who made waves in Somerville, but made the ultimate sacrifice as a Charleston City firefighter. The life and legacy of Captain Louis Mulkey is a subject of a new documentary that just debuted on Crackle TV, and we are thrilled to have joining us the film's director, Guido Verweyen, and we'd also like to welcome Marlon Pryor, a former football player under Coach Mulkey. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, how are you doing?
Great to have you. So it's called The Green Wave, and I have to say, watching the trailer, you cannot help but to shed some tears along with some of the people that you feature, Guido. First of all, I'm curious why you discovered or how you discovered this story and why you wanted to create a documentary about it.
Well, I first saw a news clip about it, and I was immediately enthralled. I mean, it's such an inspiring story, and it's very unusual to have a firefighter take essentially a firefighting mentality into coaching, and bringing love, brotherhood, respect, and all that into coaching. And it's not just about winning on the court, but also off the court. And he had such a big impact on all his players, mentoring them. Some of them didn't have father figures, some of them coming from the projects and even dealing drugs on the side. And he saw, something really special in those boys and believed in them at every turn, giving them second chances. And, like the title, The Green Wave suggests, there's like constant waves building. And when Coach Mulkey started this program, there was no wave. It was flat,
That's right.
It was kind of a winless team, and then it started building under him.
Incredible. Marlon, you played with under Coach Mulkey. I want to hear more about your experience with him, firsthand experience that you had working with Coach Mulkey.
It was a lot. It was a headache sometimes. It was great. He was hard man to please, but he was a lovable guy, man. It was everything. I loved everything about him.
How long did it take you to kind of warm up to him? Because Guido mentions the love that he put into his team, but I'm sure there's a lot of tough love there as well.
It took a while. I was kind of a little hard-headed coming into school, and he got on his players like all the time.
Yeah.
We would hate practices with Coach Mulkey.
And tell me a bit about kind of what your life was like before he came in it.
I would get in trouble. I wouldn't get in too much trouble, but I was just hard listening. I didn't really care about taking sports as serious. And once I ran into him and he actually seen how good I could be, he sat me down in the office with him and Coach Newman, and they had a very long talk with me. And from that talk, it changed everything.
I'm sure it did. And Guido, you have interviewed a lot of players and staff as well, some educators there at Somerville High that recounted their time of working with Coach Mulkey. So just to see the sheer love that they had for him and to see the love that he did have for his school, as well as being a firefighter, maybe you could tell us a little bit more about kind of what you learned about him as a person.
Yeah, to me it was right off the bat, not just about this incredible underdog story and miracle of this championship run, which is incredible in itself, but the each and every character in the story, the boys, each and everyone had like this incredible story arc, where they started out from doubting themselves, getting into trouble, like Marlon said so well. At school, like AJ Green, for example, he had learning disabilities, and Mulkey sat with him in the classroom for weeks, making sure that he would have the grades to, be able to graduate, to play, and even go to college. And a lot of people counted AJ Green out, and look at where he is now. So each and every person in the story here has its own story to tell, and that's kind of where I gravitated to. And when I started out with this film, I really wanted the boys to go back into time, and I took Marlon and other players along the ride, going back to the gym, which is now called the Firehouse in honor of their coach. He left such a big impact on them, and I think these players, they're still making waves, I mean,
Yes.
as fathers, successful businessmen, and, coaches and all that.
Well, absolutely. And of course, I mean, I can't believe it's been 15 years almost that the Sofa Superstore fire tragedy had occurred. He with 8 other fallen firefighters. So he had 2 passions, it would seem, a passion for being an emergency responder and running towards danger, and also a passion for these young men who are growing up and seeing their potential. And Marlon, I want to ask you, is there any characteristic that you take away from Coach's, just his ways, that you have then applied to your own life? Because you're also a coach yourself.
Yes, ma'am. His work ethic, leadership, determination. I took a lot in that from him, especially with coaching now. A lot of his ways and how he coached us and the other players, I use all the same, annex with all my guys now, and that's how I am with them, trying to be a better man, teach them early on, be a good leader. So there's a lot of things I picked up from him that he was able to teach me.
It's an incredible legacy, and we're all going to be able to enjoy hearing those voices and watching him in Crackle TV's The Green Wave. Guido, Marlon, I want to thank you both for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
We're back after this.